Hello everyone, welcome back to JDCodebase. Today we are going to learn one of the most powerful and most important patterns in the DSA. And that pattern is called the frequency and the map. So don't worry if this sounds confusing right now. When I first learned this, I was also confused. But today I will explain everything in a very simple way, in a step by step. And by the end of this video, you will clearly understand what is frequency pattern, why we use object or maps, how to check anagrams, how to find duplicates, and where this pattern is used in the real LeetCode problems. So let's start. So first question is what is frequency? Uh, Frequency is the how many times something appears. That's it. The frequency is the how many times something appears. So for that, like if a number appears 3 times, its frequency is 3. If a character appears 2 times, its frequency is 2. So frequency patterns means we count things. That's all. So like I have an array 1, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2. Here 1 is 2 times, 2 is 3 times, and 3 is 1 time. So here one frequency of this is 1 is the 2 times frequency, 2 is 3 times, and 3 is 1 time. So that counting logic is called the frequency pattern. So basically we are counting, nothing special in this. Now why is this important? Uh, Counting is easy. Why is this important? Because so many problems depend on the count, like checking duplicates. If any array has any duplicates, so we have to first check how many times is elements come in the array, comparing the two arrays, checking if two strings are anagram or not, means their alphabets are equal or not, first unique characters. So, and if you do not know these patterns, you will use the nested loop, because you first take the element, then inside the nested loop you check whether this element appears one more time or not for checking the duplicates. So this is a nested loop, big of n-square time complexity in this, but frequency pattern makes it in the big of n. It's very powerful. So let's see in this. So our first problem is the count frequency. Count frequency means like I have an array 1 2 1 3 2 1. I want to check how many times these elements appears. For that, just use the let frequency object, and for let num of arr, and inside this if frequency of arr is all if frequency of num is already exist in the object, then we just increase the value, else frequency of num equal to 1, and console.log or return this frequency array. So let me run this node, count frequency, what node count, okay, count frequency. I get the 1 is 3 times, 2 is 2 times, 3 is 1 time here. So first we create an empty object here. This object will store and store our counts. Then we loop through the array here by using the for of loop in the JavaScript. And this is here is the very important part, is the if number already exists in the object. If frequency of num already exists in the object, then we increase the count. If it does not, we set it to the 1. Frequency of num is equal to 1. So slowly this object becomes 1 is 2 3 times, 2 is 2 times, 3 is 1 time, and that's it. No nested loops here, and only one loop. So time complexity is the big of n. So this is a simple version of the counting the frequency of n elements in the array. We can also write it by using the map. Let me show you by use the same thing using the map. Map is in the JavaScript basically. So first let map equal to new map, and here for let num of err, same pattern for of loop, but here we have to just use this map dot set the value. The key here is the value, means 1 2 3 whatever the value I want to as this, and here map dot get num. First we get the frequency of the value. If it is the undefined, means this is not exist in the map, then use the 0, else make it then use the 0 and also increase by 1 every time. That's it, and return this map. Let's run again. I get 1 is 3 times, 2 is 2 times, 3 is 1 time, same for the previous one. So here map dot get num give us the current value of the frequency of the current element, and if nothing exists we use the 0 as the current value, then we add 1, and it's a very clean method, just a for line of code, a single for loop, big of and time complexity for both these. Now we can also compare the two frequency by just let's see here, count the frequency, we already see count frequency using the map, we already see time complexity for the big of n for the, and space complexity is also big of n. Now how to compare two frequency map? For that we first check whether they both two arrays are equal or not, means if any elements are the, means array dot length is the small, so then how they become the equal. So the first one is the edge case, right? Then do they have the same elements or not, means first for that we have to check the frequencies, and are two strings anagrams or not. This is a basic questions in the interviews, anagrams question or frequency. They are not ask you to get me the frequency or check the two arrays are equal. They tell you whether these two strings are anagrams or not. Now how to check? First these are the two arrays 1 2 2 3 2 1 3 2, means both arrays have the same element, because this is a small element, just 4 elements, 0 1 2 3 4, means 4 elements here. But if it is the larger amount, how to check? First we have to create frequency map for array 1, frequency map for array 2, then compare the both the maps. If same, then return true, if not, then return false. So let's see the anagram check. Anagram means anagram is basically for the strings. Two strings are anagram if the same characters, same frequency, like we have a listen and silent, they both have the same characters, LISTEN. All the 6 alphabets are the same, and here also silent has the 6 alphabet in the same frequency. So both have the, they look different but letters are the same here. So let's implement in the VS Code. Is anagram, I already write the function, so let's write if s dot length is not equal to t dot length, then there is no need to check further, just return the false, because they are their length is not equal, then how they can, their frequency is equal. Now first we have to check, first we have to make a object let frequency object and start a for of loop. You can use the normal for loop, but just for we are using the JavaScript, so why we do not take advantage of this. So let's see char of s, first make a frequency object, frequency of char is equal to frequency of char if it is exist, then use the value, if it is not, then use the 0 value and +1 every time. That's it, and here also for let char of t. Now we check whether the char of t is exist in the frequency or not. If frequency of char is not exist, means we are taking every character from the t and we check whether that character is exist in the frequency array or not. If it is not exist, then return the false, else we decrease the frequency in the of that character in the object. That's it, and return the true in last. So let's run this node is anagram, we get the true. If I make it and remove the n, I get the false. If I write here one more t, I get the false. So this is the power of this. Now first we check the length. If both have the different length, if length are not equal, they cannot be an anagram. Then we count the letter of the first string for let char of s, and if and then we go through the means we count the first string, then we go through the second string using the same for of loop, and if any letter does not exist, we return the false. There is no need to check further, and otherwise decrease the count of that element. If everything matches, return true, and this is a big O of n time complexity because big O of n for this, big O of n for this, and we are just addition, and so we are using the big O of n for the complete program. So without frequency pattern, this problem becomes very hard for you by using the nested loop or you use other things. Now let's see the third problems for today, and this is the last one. So if any element appears more than once, like has duplicates, means if any element appear more than one, like here 1 2 3 4 and 2. Here 2 is the appears more than 2 times or more than 1 time, so we have to find out here. So for that just write use this set, new set, and here for let num of array, and if set dot has this num value, then means set here is in JavaScript. Set is basically in the set we store only the single value. If you try to store the same value again, it still takes the single value. There is no way to store the double value. So if set dot has num and it has single as the property of set dot has num, then we have to return true. Also we can return the value here, like here I just write true. In the array format I am giving the value num, and else set dot add the num and return the false else. So let's run this node has duplicates, I get the true, and the value here is 2. If I write here 1, then I get the 1 as the duplicate. So here set only store the unique value. This is the property of set basically. If we try to add something that already exists, we know it is duplicate, and this is a very clean and very powerful. Only one loop used for this entire problem. So this is the time complexity big of n here, and we already covered the as loop as duplicate. Now when to use the frequency pattern? Whenever you see words like count, comparing, matching, checking duplicate, anagram, or majority, frequency, so these are the immediately thing. Can I use frequency pattern? If yes, your solution becomes simpler. Some real code problems based on this are the two sum valid anagrams contains duplicates, first unique character, majority elements. Almost every beginner's interview problems uses this. So if you master this, your DSA foundation becomes strong. So today we learn what is frequency pattern, how to count using the object, how to use map, how to compare frequency, how to check anagram, how to find duplicates. If you are serious about DSA, do not skip these patterns. Practice at least 4 to 5 problems on this. And if this video helped you, like the video, subscribe to JDCodebase, and comment frequency master below. I will see you in next video.